Welcome. Hope you had a good Shabbos. We're back to our learning of Hilchos Shabbos, the laws of Shabbos. We are in the midst of the laws pertaining to lighting Shabbos candles. We discussed who has to light it. It's a mitzvah which really applies for the woman. Truth is, it's for anybody, man or woman, but it was given specifically that women should be able to have this opportunity to bring more light into the world. The reality, however, is that if the woman can't light, or if the husband is away, he has to light where he is. Now we're going to discuss now the time of lighting. We're in the middle of Siman Reish Samach Gimel, and in the Kitzur which we're using, it's page Kuf Yud Dalet. Zman Hadlaka, what's the time to light? You should not light candles before Plaga Mincha, which is about an hour and a quarter before sunset of Shoiz Zmaniyes, halachic hours. If you decided you want to light Shabbos candles at 2 p.m. and Shabbos is at 5, and you have to extinguish it and again light it for the sake of Shabbos. And we even consider the bracha to be in vain, and you have to redo the bracha. And even if, let's say, you're lighting it after Plaga Mincha, candle lighting is 5:30, and you want to light it at 4:40, let's say. Don't light the candle too early. Then you can't tell if you're going to light it too early. You can't tell that you're doing it for the honor of Shabbos. Maybe you're just lighting candles altogether. In the Kabbalah of Shabbos, samoch la'adlaka la'alter. But if you say, I'm taking Shabbos in early, I'm going to light candles after Plaga Mincha, and I'm going to accept Shabbos right away, then it's okay, even if technically it gets dark much later, because you can see that it's for the honor of Shabbos. Because you're accepting Shabbos now, regardless of if it's dark outside or not, it's not considered to be too early. It's for Shabbos, and that's felt and noticeable. But the idea is that when you light Shabbos candles, it has to be done for Shabbos, and it has to be noticed that it's for Shabbos. So you do it as close to the onset of Shabbos as you can. With, don't go to the last second, but the 20 minutes before, that's really the time. But let's say he did not accept Shabbos upon himself, you need to extinguish it. And then go again and relight it for Shabbos, because Shabbos candles has to be done right before Shabbos. It should be noticeable that this is for Shabbos. Be very careful, and people ask this question often. If I can't light Shabbos candles on time, what about doing it a little bit later? And the answer is a big no. You have to be very careful to light candles before sunset. You cannot light fire on Shabbos. It's a biblical prohibition. Even if that means you're not going to light Shabbos candles, better don't light than miss the time and light after Shabbos starts. So be very careful to do it before sunset. Hamadlik. Now we're going to learn about the one that lights it and the bracha which is connected to it. Hamadlik tzarich sheyadlik kolkach. A person has to light the candles for Shabbos in such a manner you light it that it should get majority of the wick which is sticking out of the candle. So you take the match, whatever you're using, you put it to the wick and wait till the wick catches, a majority of the wick catches onto the fire. Hamadlik Shabbos. Now, someone that's lighting the Shabbos candle, whether it's a man or a woman, they have to make a bracha. Same blessing. The beginning is the same as all brachas. You sanctified us with the mitzvahs and you commanded us that you should to ignite, to light the candle of Shabbos. Now, we have a principle, a rule, that whenever you do a mitzvah, you make the bracha before the mitzvah, unless there is a particular reason which doesn't allow you to do so. You make the bracha, I'm going to eat matzah, thank you Hashem for the mitzvah of matzah, and then you eat the matzah, right? You make the bracha before you do it. You make the bracha on the Chanukah menorah, and then you light it. When it comes to Shabbos candles, we have an issue, because once you make the bracha, it's technically Shabbos already. And when it's Shabbos, you can't light. So the way that we do this is, Minadin haya, let's look inside in his words. Truth be told, if you look at the actual halacha, the Jewish law, you would have to light before, you have to make the bracha before you light. The same way that you make a blessing before all mitzvahs. You make the blessing before you do the mitzvah. The custom is, what do? You light, you make the bracha after you lit. Because if she's going to make the bracha first, she now accepted Shabbos, and you can't light the candle once it's Shabbos. Now you do want that the bracha should be before you actually do the action of the mitzvah. So what we do is, she does not have any benefit from the light, from the candle, until she makes the bracha. What does this mean, no benefit? You put your hand in front of the candle right after you finish lighting, until after you finish the bracha. Then you take off your hands and you see the light. So I didn't light the candle before I made the bracha. I didn't make the bracha before I lit the candle. I lit it and then I made the bracha. Because I covered it, cover your eyes or you cover the candle, but you covered and you couldn't see it, so you didn't benefit from. After you benefit from, made the bracha before you actually did it. Yesh levarech al neder al shulchan shebesech habayis v'shikra mitzvah hina neder shel. Thank you. Skip the line. Yesh levarech al neder al shulchan. We discussed earlier that there's two types of lighting candles that exist, especially in the olden days before electric. It doesn't have to be bright, but you have to have some kind of light that you're able to see from a hallway, from outside. Light. So the main candles that we're lighting is in the dining room wherever you're eating your meal of Shabbos. That's what you make a bracha on. You have to make sure there's light in other places around the house. And again, for that, you don't need a real candle today. You need a real candle when you eat. But in other places, you don't need a real fire. But you don't make a bracha on the other rooms where you're lighting a candle. Because the main mitzvah is the candles that you're going to eat next to them. It's appropriate that the bracha should be on the candles because that's the main mitzvah. The best way of doing it is make the bracha on the candles when they're already placed in the room where you're going to eat. Don't light them somewhere else. You light the candles by the front door, for example, and then in a different room. And then you're going to bring them before it gets dark outside, before it's technically Shabbos, or someone else will move it for you to the place where you eat. Don't do that. Light it where you're going to eat. V'gam. You should put them on the table before you actually light it. He mentioned earlier in the footnotes that it doesn't mean literally on the table. You could light it next to the table. It should be in the same area. You should have to see it where you are lighting the kiddush. Also, you're eating next to the lo'iram of the when you eat. But it doesn't mean literally on the table necessarily. The candles that you're eating next to them, that's to their light. That's the main mitzvah. It's appropriate that the bracha should be on them when they're already placed in the area that they have to be. That's where the main part of the mitzvah is. Okay, now, as we mentioned, when you make the bracha, you're accepting Shabbos and the Shabbos for you. Let's see some of the ramifications of that and what happens if you have to do a few more things before sunset. She lit candles 20 minutes before sunset. In some places in Yerushalayim, it's 40 minutes. In other places in Israel, it's 30 minutes. So you have some time from when you lit the candle till Shkia. But it's already Shabbos for you. Yesh Eimnim, there are those that say, Shekivan, Shehidlik ne Shabbos, Chol Alav Shabbos. Once you lit the candles, it's Shabbos for you. The Nesar Basiyas Malacha, and you're now not allowed to do any Malacha. To clarify, it means when you finish lighting. So if you're doing 20 candles, you light one, you can still continue lighting everything until you're done, as long as it's not sunset. That's the custom. A woman which is lighting candles, she accepts Shabbos, even though it's not yet sunset, it's Shabbos for her. She is now forbidden to do malacha. Therefore, you should daven mincha before Lakas Neides, because once you light candles, it's Shabbos. Mincha is a weekday mincha. The minhag is, it says if they didn't do it, they could have a mincha after candle lighting as well. Aval shar b'nei abayis mutarim b'melacha. Yeah, listen, Friday afternoon, the davening mincha, it could be mincha on Friday is a weekday mincha. Once they lit Shabbos candles, it's Shabbos. So it's problematic to do mincha after. So the best way to do it is daven mincha before they light the Shabbos candle. But everyone else in the house could do malacha. Now here's an interesting thing. Not only can they do malacha, if they didn't like, let's be very specific about it, very clear. The missus lit the Shabbos candles. It's 20 minutes before sunset. So now she cannot do any more work because it's Shabbos. Anyone else in the house that didn't light Shabbos candles could do malacha, they could do things which are forbidden on Shabbos until sunset. She could even ask them to do it for her. Clearly, she could say, I turn off the stove, turn on the stove, I forgot a light somewhere. All these things she could say clearly, and he could do it because it's not Shkia yet. And even though she accepted Shabbos, but those things of asking someone to do something for her, she is allowed to do until Shabbos sets in. There's a custom that they drop the match. The point is not necessarily on the floor, but you don't extinguish it, you don't blow it out. They don't extinguish it. Lit the candles, don't go like this or blow it out, not because necessarily something's wrong with blowing out a match, but it's Shabbos and you can't extinguish it. But putting it down or dropping it is not an act of extinguishing. If a man is lighting candles for whatever reason, there is no minhag that he's accepting Shabbos through this lighting. Okay? In other words, it's not sunset yet. He did a mitzvah. He made a bracha. It's not Shabbos for him. And we rely on the main din, which is not the minhag, that you don't accept Shabbos because a man does not accept Shabbos because he made a bracha. However, even though you technically do not accept Shabbos, you should make a t'nai. So if the wife is out of town and the husband is lighting candles, then he wants to drive to shul after you lit candles, he could do so. Halachically is no problem altogether. But it's a good idea to make a condition and say, I'm about to light Shabbos candles, I'm going to make the bracha, I'm not accepting Shabbos yet. I'll have Shabbos when Shabbos kicks in, when it's sunset. Now we mentioned before that you can't light Shabbos candles too far away from the actual shkia. It should be well under 15 minutes before Shabbos starts or before you accept Shabbos. So if he's going to want to go, let's say, drive to shul, he can't decide to light a half an hour before and then accept that shkia. He has to do it right before, close enough to his accepting Shabbos. Accepting Shabbos depends only on lighting candles, which is the candles that are on the table, meaning next to where the meal is going to be. But the other candles which she lights in other rooms, in Kabbalah Shabbos Kabbalah Shabbos is not dependent on those things. She could do all other types of work until she lights those candles. Even without a t'nai, even with lechatchila, lighting those candles, there's no bracha involved, and it doesn't make you accept Shabbos. T'nai shalei l'kabel Shabbos b'adlaka. A condition. If the woman that's going to light the candles made a condition in advance, although we said that for a man he doesn't accept Shabbos, but he should still make a condition that lighting candles is not taking in Shabbos yet, a woman could make this condition, say I'm not accepting Shabbos until Shabbos comes in, if she really needs to. Let's say she made this condition only in her mind. She didn't verbalize it. But if you don't really need to, don't rely on this condition. There are those that are of the opinion that it doesn't help at all. So because of difference of opinions, the halacha says if you need to, you can make a condition and then it won't be Shabbos yet. But only do it in extreme cases. when we come, okay? Gam kisha isha masne she'ena makabel Shabbos v'lakasa. Shechal kabel Shabbos alter achad lakasa. Again, make all the conditions in the world. When you light Shabbos candle, it's got to be close to Shabbos, either because it's sunset or because you accept the Shabbos. It can't be too distant. If she can't accept Shabbos right away, it's better let the husband light. Let's take an example. She has to go to the hospital, and she doesn't want to light. If she lights Shabbos candles now, it's going to be Shabbos. She can't do it. I mean, she can go to the hospital on Shabbos too. Whatever the example may be, she can't accept Shabbos too close to when she lit the candles. Better that the husband should light the candles and make the bracha. Huh? Right. Both. Either one. More than her? But where did we say that it's more the husband than her? Okay, let's finish the paragraphs. If she can't, then she should light the candles, and the husband will be makabel Shabbos within 15 minutes or under 15 minutes from when she lit, so it should be close to Shabbos. Because if the husband is not going to accept Shabbos, you literally have to extinguish the candle. It's a bracha levatola. It's a blessing in the vein. The we come out a blessing in the vein. What number? 55? Let's do footnote 55. The reason why it helps for the husband to accept Shabbos instead of the women, because the main requirement to light candles is for the husband, because he's the balabais. That's right, we said this. It's mainly on the husband, is this requirement for the peace in the home. The wife is only his representative, his messenger to do it, to light the candles. She's also part of his family, so she is pater or nifter, and she's included in his lighting. So basically, if she can't accept Shabbos soon enough to when she lit, the husband could do it for her. She lit it, he's going to accept it, which is secondary. The best way is that he should light instead. For whatever reason he can't, he should accept Shabbos close to that time. I think if the takeaway is that if you want to light Shabbos candles early, make sure you either accept Shabbos or it's close enough to sunset. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful evening.